Hello guys, and welcome back to my second tutorial on Comfy. I want to thank all the Reddit users who have written to me and provided feedback. I thought I would create a second tutorial on audio because many people who know me in real life were surprised by my accent. Please note, this is not my real voice. It is generated within Comfy. I needed a tool that I could use to experiment and generate many audio samples because my initial idea when publishing the first tutorial was to also have the ability to speak in different languages. Unfortunately, YouTube does not currently allow me to do this because I'm at the beginning. So here's the workflow using Qwen 3tts and ASR and Ollama Chat. I think this could be a great resource for all content creators who are having problems speaking in public or who don't have a high-end microphone for recording. Here are two audio files. One is the audio to be transcribed and the other is a sample audio where I speak for 15 seconds, even less is fine. The basic idea was to use the audio created during the editing phase and to obtain a workflow that would allow me to transcribe the text and translate it into another language while always maintaining my own voice. I'll always keep the asset section active, and for this first stage I'll turn on the transcribe section. Don't worry if it shows an error in red when you hit run, it's only because the other sections are turned off. Entering the workflow, we can see that the Qwen 3tts Sense Voice ASR node is used for the transcription area, and here, as you can see, is the transcribed text. It will create a txt file that will be saved in the folder of your choice, which will then be called up in the subgraph menu. This has been done to avoid overwriting the text every time transcription takes place and to allow you to correct grammar or typos. If you don't see the txt updated, you can try different methods. Restart ComfyUI, press R, or create another load text node and it will appear. In the second area, the instructions to provide to the agent are listed. Depending on the model you want to use, you can test the prompt you prefer. For now, I'm fine with this because I use Translate Gemma, which seemed perfect for this task and it's fast. Once the text has been transcribed, I would recommend opening the txt file directly in this way. After saving, you can be 100% sure that everything is correct. As you can see in the assets section, there is Ollama connectivity. Here you can choose the model you prefer to use. When you re-render after making corrections, you can see that they have actually been made. We are now ready to turn on the translation area and turn off the transcription area. As you can see, something strange happened during the translation. Let's restart Comfy and try again. And there you go, now it works. The text has been translated into Korean. I always double check on Ollama to verify that the translation is correct. Trying again with another language, and honestly, the translation looks very good. The last text window is linked. It is the final piece of the puzzle. Paste the translated text into this area and you can manage pauses and the type of inflection and emotion to give to your voice by adding square brackets. I have not yet tried the workflow with Qwen's custom voice and node design nodes in detail, but for now, I am more than satisfied with what I need. Let's check the text and see if everything is correct as far as I can understand Korean, and let's click Run. Let's dive into the workflow and quickly review the various parts of the workflow so that we can arrive at the final step of generating the voice. For transcription, we use the Qwen TTSSR voice node, and I've placed the audio files outside of the group to avoid breaking the workflow I've created by disabling this area and preventing me from proceeding with only the other. Now that we've reached this point, we can see how my reference voice flows into the final workflow. In the translation section, I used Ollama Chat with Translate Gemma, which recalls the prompt generated by the previously transcribed text. As you can see, the inputs are directly linked to the subgraph interface. Apart from the limitation of not being able to move and drop the various items in the menu unless they are recreated from scratch, the subgraph has a very nice feature. Certain parameters of a node can be promoted so that they can be called up directly in the subgraph interface, simply by right-clicking on a parameter and seeing if it is possible to promote it. I found this very interesting and useful feature, helping to achieve a good subgraph without coding. While editing, I realized that it would have been very useful to know beforehand how to solve this problem, which is quite simple to solve with a few small tricks. For this reason, in this part, I wanted to show you a small demonstration of the problems I encountered. Let's pretend that I copy and paste this part of the workflow into a new one, because I have decided that I want to make a subgraph of this group. Right-click, I try to create the subgraph and absolutely nothing happens. I discovered that some custom nodes are buggy, at least on my machine, but if I create a native node and convert it to a subgraph and then paste the workflow, it works. Right now, if you right-click on the various node areas, the option to promote does not appear, but when you do it on a channel box, the option to promote the parameter will appear so that you can see it in the subgraph menu. Now that we've clarified this point, let's move on to the last part of the tutorial. Now that we've reached this point, we can see how my reference voice flows into the final workflow, where I'm still using the Qwen TTS Sense voice node to help and improve the audio quality when it receives the input and then start generating the desired voice. I've also used the Qwen 3tts prompt manager node to save my voice, so I can optimize the time, and finally I've fed the Qwen 3tts smart script processor node. The role bank is used to add other voice people to make a conversation. It could be very useful. You can add pause, emotions. This is really cool. There were probably other ways to approach this, but honestly, I'm satisfied with the result, which can only get better. I guess this is the end, and if you want to hear me speak Korean, here's my voice. Thank you all and see you next time for a tutorial that will focus more on video.
안녕하세요. 저는 개브리엘 로리입니다. 저는 10년 이상 동안 영화 및 텔레비전 산업에서 컴포징 아티스트로 활동해 왔으며 주로 누크를 주력 도구로 사용했습니다. 최근에는 프로젝트와 기술 역량에 따라 다양한 소프트웨어를 활용해 왔습니다. 필드에서 일하는 모든 사람들이 겪고 있거나 현재 겪고 있는 주요 위기를 고려할 때 많은 대규모 및 소규모 스튜디오가 갑자기 파산하거나 문을 닫는 상황이 발생했습니다. 또한 AI의